Hey guys, it's the mighty ZF500 back with another episode of ZF500's Encyclopedia. Today we are moving on to the holy grail of the Dynasty Warriors series, the Big Daddy, the one, the only, the Dynasty Warriors 3. Now in this episode I'll be covering Dynasty Warriors 3 and Dynasty Warriors 3 Xtreme Legends. Let's first start out with Dynasty Warriors 3. After the success of Dynasty Warriors 2, Koei decided to bring an update to their hack and slash, and boy, what an update. Dynasty Warriors 3 came out in about September of 2001 for the PS2 and Xbox. Upon release, it was received very well by critics and fans alike. Now, Dynasty Warriors 3 updated a lot of things, but kept some of the bad things, example, fog of war, the frame rate issues. Some criticized the voice acting, which was so bad that it actually has a cult following among avid fans.
Don't pursue Moo-Boo.
You flaming idiots! Take this! Power of my magic!
Now let's go with some of the improvements from Dynasty Warriors to Dynasty Warriors 3. They increased the character rosters from 28 to 40. Though there still are a few clone characters, they did flesh them out a little bit more so they're not total copies of each other. There are now 20 stages up from the previous 9. Combat has also been improved in this iteration. Combos have increased from 4 attacks to 6. Combos remain relatively the same. Triangle is still your guard breaker. Square triangle still sends enemies in the air for juggles. Square triangle will stun enemies. 3 squares and a triangle is your crowd clearer. New to Dynasty Warriors 3 is the combination of 4 squares and triangle, which is now an air attack. Send them up and you do a follow-up. 5 squares plus triangle is another type of crowd clearing technique. Usually these attacks deal with you doing some type of sonic boom or like a shockwave type attack. Your character is no longer bound to one weapon and can now obtain up to 4 different levels. Also introduced in Dynasty Warriors 3 is the item system. These are used to increase certain stats, boost your bodyguards, increase your damage you've done with arrows, and other little miscellaneous attributes, as well as allow you to start out with any horse that you want, provided you have the right saddle. The bodyguard system was also retained from Dynasty Warriors 2. You're now able to choose how many bodyguards you want to take with you to battle, as well as what type they are, bow, crossbow, sword, spear, or pike, as well as if you want them to attack or defend. After every stage, you still get a certain amount of points for which contribute to your rank. The higher rank you are, the better your bodyguards get, and the better horses that you're able to ride. Back to the weapon system, as I mentioned, there are now 4 possible levels of a character's weapon. 1 to 3 can be attained by just playing through the game normally. The final level, however, requires you to fulfill certain requirements on certain levels. For example, to obtain Zhang Fei's ultimate weapon, you must first trigger a cutscene on Changban on the Changban Bridge. Then afterwards, he must go kill Zhao Dun and Zhao Yuan. These must be done on the hardest difficulty or else you will not get the supply team to appear with the weapon. Now, Zhang Fei has one of the easier weapons to receive, but some of the other officers have a much stricter set of rules to obtain. Me and a buddy of mine, the mighty Sandshrew, spent many hours getting every single level 4 in this game. One final note about the level 4 weapons is that most of them have an elemental attribute to them. These are also new, and they range from broken to they go from lightning, fire, to death. I think those are the 3 elements. And of course, death is the most broken one of them all. I think there's ice in there as well. Lightning is pretty good. It does a whole bunch of AoE attacks. Fire is phenomenal against single targets because of how much HP it drains from them. As long as they're in the air, their HP is just going to keep draining. And you can just do square triangle, square triangle, square triangle. Keep them in the air forever and they'll just die. Now, the goal of this game is pretty much the same as the last one. Defeat the enemy general without dying or letting your leader die. Your character still advances stats by beating generals and gate captains, as well as collecting the life up pots. Now, new to Dynasty Warriors 3 is the Musou up pots. Previously, if you got a life up plus 10, it would increase both HP and Musou. Now, you have to find 2 separate pots. And again, these are strewed across every level, so prepare for another grind. Speaking of Musou, when your character's HP is low, and your Musou bar fills up, just like it did in Dynasty Warriors 2, you now can perform a super Musou attack, which has a fire attribute. Fire, like I said, is extremely useful as it just drains their HP as long as they're in the air and they're on fire. Also, Musou attacks are now completely invincible, unlike in Dynasty Warriors 2. Musou mode has been improved, and there are more characters to play, more storyline, but the endings are still the same no matter who you beat it with. You're still just going to get that kingdom's particular ending. Free mode is still the same and is still the only way to play as Lu Bu or any of the other faction characters like Dong Zhuo or Zhang Zhao. They also included a challenge mode, which usually made you kill so many enemies within a time limit or survive for so long. It was pretty difficult, and I think later on they put in a way that you could track your stats online with people. It gave you a code that you could enter online, but the sites are no longer up, so they're kind of defunct. There's also a versus mode, which has you fighting against your buddy to see who can kill more enemies or who can outlast the other one. It's not very impressive. It's more like you're stuck in a spot on a map and you duel each other. I unfortunately don't have another controller, so I can't really show this mode off. But it's really nothing to get excited about. That's about everything that Dynasty Warriors 3 has to offer, so let's move on to the expansion. Dynasty Warriors Xtreme Legends. Xtreme Legends came out in about 2002. Not too much longer after 3 came out. Xtreme Legends introduced some pretty cool features, such as the ability to create bodyguard units or have another general follow you around. The main addition to Xtreme Legends was the ability to play as Lu Bu or any of the other forces in their own campaign. In challenge mode, there are now 4 challenges that can be done. They were pretty fun to mess with, but nothing super spectacular. Every character now has a 5th level weapon, which is obtained through similar means as the 4th. These aren't typically stronger, rather they're just an alternate to it. A lot of people weren't satisfied with the stats that were on the certain characters' weapons, as some didn't really make any sense. At times it just seems that Koei chose random stats or just used a generator and threw them on the weapons. So Koei tweaked the 4th weapons to make the weapons more suitable for that particular character's playstyle. They still have the same graphic, animation, but usually they added in some flame elemental or whatever, something the character was lacking. With the inclusion of level 5 weapons, they also included a whole slew of new items that you could put on your character. Unfortunately, I really don't have that many as I did not play much of Dynasty Warriors 3 Xtreme Legends. Also in the options, there is a character reset button that allows you to put your character back to level 1. But why would I want to grind all over it? One thing I didn't mention about some of the options in Dynasty Warriors 3 was the fact that you could change the vocals from English to Japanese. So if you really didn't like this cheesy English voices, you could change it to the Japanese. Also, included in Dynasty Warriors 3 Xtreme Legends was a novice mode and a very hard mode. Now, the thing about Dynasty Warriors 3 was this game was particularly unforgiving on the hard difficulty on Dynasty Warriors 3. Mainly, the worst problem was the archers. You got hit about 3 times without wearing some type of arrow reduction armor on hard mode, your character was pretty much dead. Arrows were insane, and the problem was that the fog of war would a lot of time cover up the archers and just show the peons stabbing you, while arrows would go through allies and hit you. It was very frustrating, and it was one of the hardest games to play. Then they went and added a very hard mode where damn near everything one-shot you. Trying to just fight Lu Bu is damn near impossible, even with a maxed out character. But that about sums up this episode of Zhang Fei's Encyclopedia Dynasty Warriors Edition. Dynasty Warriors 3 was a huge success, and to most avid Dynasty Warriors players, the best in the series. Most people believe that the Dynasty Warriors series goes in a downward spiral, but is it really true? Check in next time as we explore Dynasty Warriors 4, Dynasty Warriors 4 Xtreme Legends, and Dynasty Warriors 4 Empires. That's right, 3 games. So till next time, guys, this is ZF500's saying hope you have a good one. Take care.
Lord Meng-Hu, bad news! We're in trouble!
Don't you dare disturb my meal! Or would you prefer me to eat you?
I'm sorry, but there's a large army approaching from the east!
What? To the east? Those sissies from Wu?
That sounds very interesting. Perhaps we should oblige them. Get ready for battle! Quickly!
Yes!